DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. I had to make a follow-up video to a video that I made. I made this video probably about 6 years ago. Some of you may have seen. Actually, I made a couple videos on this subject of players dealing with coaches. You're dealing with a coach who might be hating on you, a coach who is not giving you playing time, a dumb coach, a coach who is just being unfair, a coach who is playing favorites. That was one of the titles of one of my videos. What do you do in this situation? So I'm gonna go a couple layers deeper in the conversation here, because clearly I forgot. I didn't forget. I must have not known that YouTube was going to become what YouTube is 6 years ago. So I guess I gotta give myself a pass for that. Before I get into this, let me tell everybody that I send out a daily motivation text message every morning straight to your phone. If you want to receive it, just text me at the number that is listed down below. I'll tell it to you right now. It is 305-384-6894. Text me at that number. You get my daily motivation text every single morning straight to your phone. Now, this topic here of coaches playing favorites. I did this video like 6 years ago where I said, if you're a player, and I was talking specifically about basketball, but this happens in every sport, we know, that if you're a player on the team and you're not getting as much time as you want, or maybe you didn't even make the team, and you feel like it's because the coach is playing favorites. They're playing a player who maybe they know him from somewhere else. Maybe the coaches know the player's dad. Maybe this player has been on the team longer, so they get preferential treatment because they've been on the team longer than you. Maybe because the coach and the player just get along on some level that has nothing to do with the game that you don't get along with. Maybe the coach is a Christian and you're Jewish, so that he's playing all the Christian kids and not playing the Jewish kid. Or the coach is white and you're black, so the coach is playing the white kids, not playing the black kids. Maybe the coach is playing their son over you and you're better than the son, and you're thinking that the coach is playing favorites. What do you do in that situation? So first of all, let's get something clear. And I did not articulate this in the same way in that video that I'm going to articulate in this video, but I still said it. But clearly, again, a lot of people were looking at taking every word that I said in a literal sense and not really getting the essence of my message. But I'm going to explain it right here, and there will be no confusion by the end of this video. So in that video, what I said was, don't use the excuse of coaches playing favorites. I said coaches don't play favorites. If you're not getting playing time, don't look at the coach, look in the mirror, look at yourself. There's something that you're doing or something that you are not doing that is causing you to not play. Now, I did not say this next part explicitly, but I'm going to say explicitly right now. The essence of the message, if you listen to the whole video and you listen to the tone of the video and what I'm saying there, and you listen to anything else that I put out here, many of you got it. I would say about 80% of you got it, what I'm about to explain, and about 20% of you did not get it, or at least you presented yourself as not getting it. I don't know if you got it or not. I can't read your mind, but I'm just going off what I've read in the comments. Here's the thing. The reason why I always stress the players that you don't blame the coach for playing favorites when you're not getting playing time is because when you blame anything outside of yourself, I don't care if it's a coach, a parent, a politician, the neighborhood, the country that you come from, the weather, whatever other, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your grandma, whatever excuse you want to make. And yes, I do call it an excuse. And if you want to call it a reason, whether you want to call it a circumstance, you use anything as a reason, circumstance, excuse, any one of them for why you are not getting the results that you're getting in your life. There is a really, really big problem with doing that. The problem is you don't control those external factors. I call these externalities. I did a whole episode on this on my podcast, which is called Work on Your Game. That show comes out every single day. For those of you who really want to hear some straight talk, real conversation that will help you get to where you want to get to in life. And it's not based on sports, it's based on life. Sports has happened to be part of life. What I want you all to understand is that, is there a possibility that a coach can play favorites? Yes, of course. Listen, my own coach, when I was in college, I got recruited to go to a school called Penn State Altoona. After my freshman year of college, I got recruited to go to a different school from my sophomore through my senior year. When I went that summer, I went to Altoona, PA, and I met with the coach, this guy named Coach Kenny Mackin. And I'm sitting in his office. Me and my father are sitting in his office, and he said to me and my dad, in plain English, he said this. He said, listen, I want you to know something, Dre. I play favorites. He actually said it explicitly. I didn't have to suss it out. I didn't have to come up with some examples of something that I saw and this and that, because I seen people in the comments saying, well, I know people who did this and this person did that and this coach told me this, and people pulling out their random experiences from their little tiny experience of life, and they didn't even play the sport, but they're trying to tell me what they know about what coaches do. Anyway, it doesn't even matter. This coach said to my face, I play favorites. That was like 20 years ago he told me that. I made a video 6 years ago telling you, do not use the excuse that coaches play favorites. So am I aware that it's possible that coaches can play favorites? Of course. Do human beings play favorites? Yes, we all play favorites. All right, when you like somebody or you are in favor of a person, you will do things for them, you will listen to them, you will give them the benefit of the doubt, the way that you will not do things for, listen to, or give the benefit of the doubt to someone that you don't like. We all do this all the time. I mean, look at the news. Look at the news. You're looking at a company like CNN or the New York Times. If something comes out about Donald Trump, they're going to make it look bad. And if something comes out about Joe Biden, let's say, or anything that's woke or left, is going to make it look good. That's what they do. They play favorites. They are biased. Every human being is biased. And people who work at companies like CNN, New York Times are biased. I'm biased. You're biased. Companies are run by human beings. Coaches are human beings. They're biased. You, as an athlete, you are biased. We are all biased. We all have unconscious bias. We all have conscious bias. Most of us have unconscious bias, and we call it being objective, but it's not actually being objective most of the time. We can try to be objective, but we all have biases. So now that everybody understands that I understand that, and I understand that you understand it, because I just said it, here's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you that none of that matters, despite the fact that I just acknowledged it. It does not matter. Here's why it doesn't matter. Because this thing that we're talking about sports, and we could be talking about business as well. Business is much more subjective than sports, but let's just keep it to sports. Sports is a performance and a results-based business. The best known people, the best compensated people, the people who get all the spoils in the sports world are the best players, the best performers, the ones who get on the court or the field or the track or in the pool, and they do their thing better than the other players out there. And they get the results, meaning they help their team win games, they get stats and points and all highlights and all that stuff, and then they get to move up to the next level to get the money and the fame, and they live happily ever after. That's how it works in sports. Now, if you're sitting on the bench or sitting in the bleachers and you're not playing, or you know somebody who's sitting on the bench or sitting in the bleachers and not playing, and you think they're better than the person who's on the court or the field because of favoritism, because somebody is playing favorites, I don't doubt you. I don't believe that you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. If that's how you feel, is how you feel. All right, it's your opinion. All right, opinions can't be right or wrong. Here's the thing, though. Nobody gives a damn. Nobody cares. So the other thing you got to understand, not even understand, but remember, because you already know this about sports, is that sports careers are really short. The window is like this. Your sports career will be over by the time, your sports career will be over by the time you're 35. Most of you will be long done by the time you're 35. You'll have been done for 10 years by the time you're 35. So any story that you make up in your mind, any reason, any circumstance or excuse, whatever words you want to give to it, or anyone else wants to give to it, for why you're not on the court or field performing and producing results and getting rewarded, anything you want to come up with that there's a story that explains why that's not happening does not matter. Because when your career is over, the only thing that's going to matter is what you did, not what you could have did, not what you would have did, not who blocked you from doing it, not who played favorites against you, not who didn't deserve the playing time that they got over you. All that's going to matter is what did you do. All right, people want to look up your resume and say, all right, what did you achieve? Did you play? Did you get in the game? Did you score? Or did you help your team? Was your team successful? Did you perform? Did you produce results? Did you get rewarded? If the answer is no, nobody cares about the story that goes behind it. You understand what I'm saying here? You see, when I was in college, I just told you, coach recorded me and said, Dre, I play favorites. And I ended up going to that school. I played for that coach. And let me tell you something. He did play favorites. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. And he did play favorites. And let me tell you one more thing. I was not one of his favorites. I was not one of that coach's favorites. But I'll tell you something else. I was the only player off that team that year that ended up playing pro basketball. I had a nearly 10-year career playing professional basketball, despite the fact that coach played favorites, despite the fact that I wasn't one of the favorites. I played, but I wasn't one of the favorites. He played favorites, and there were players who weren't even that good. They would make a mistake. He wouldn't say anything. I would get in the game and make the exact same mistake. He would pull me out the game. And I went and had a meeting with it and even said this directly to him. I said exactly what I just told you. And he was pretty much, he talked, but he was pretty much, so I'm the coach. What you gonna do? That was pretty much how it went. And I'm explaining that to you for you to understand that I understand that yes, favorites can be played by people. It happens in sports, it happens in business, it happens in relationships, it happens everywhere in life. What I am trying to help you understand, I'm trying to help you develop the mental toughness and the discipline to understand the following point. Your job is is not to eliminate the fact that people play favorites. It's a human nature. It will always happen no matter what you do, how much you protest against it, how much you don't like it. Your job is to be either, actually you could do both of these, or you could do either or. Be so good as a performer that it doesn't matter who plays favorites because you're going to win anyway. And I had to do that many times in my life. And or, number two option, you can do both of these if you want. Get those favorites that get played, that bias that all human beings have, including you and including me. You need to get that bias working in your favor instead of working against you, so you can stop bitching and whining about it. You can actually having it help you get to where you want to go in life. This is what we call playing the game. This is what we call hustling. Episode 1210 of my podcast is called Don't Complain, Play the Game. So in that video that I put out back 5-6 years ago, when I explained to you all in less articulate fashion what I'm explaining now, I just got better since then, is that somebody playing favorites is not an excuse for your failure. When somebody's playing favorites, what you need to understand is all humans play favorites. So if the favorites are not working in your favor, we call that politics. You need to start getting them working in your favor. We call that networking and collaboration and building connections. You see, when things are not working for you in terms of people and connections, you call that, oh, people are political. Coach is being political. Politics is stopping me from playing. Bullshit. When those same politics are working in your favor, you don't call it politics. You say, oh, well, I got a network, I got connections, I know people, I know this person who knows this person. It's the exact same thing. It's the exact same energy. It's the exact same behaviors. It's just when it's working against you, you give it a negative label. When it's working for you, you act like it was all you're doing because you're just so good. They're the exact same thing. So the point is, there are no excuses. Your job in life is to play the game. I just explained to you that this is a game. That connections, favoritism, all of that stuff is a game. And when you're in a position of power, guess what you're going to do? You're going to play favorites. When you're in a position of making decisions, you're going to play favorites. When someone who likes you is playing favorites and you get an opportunity that you did not even earn, do you go to the internet and complain that, hey, somebody's playing favorites, that's how I got this job. Somebody's playing favorites, that's how I made this money. Somebody's playing favorites, that's how I got on the team when I wasn't even one of the best players at tryouts. I never hear anybody make a video about that. But everybody wants to come in my comments and tell me, oh, well, people do play favorites. This happened to my son. This happened to this player I know. This happened to this game that I was watching. Yeah, I know. The issue is you're missing the essence of the point. Now, for those of you who don't know me, maybe you got a little bit better idea of who I am over these last 10 minutes or so. But understand, my business, my brand, my philosophy, my life outside of business and all of that is based on 4 simple principles. Discipline, which is showing up every day doing the work. Confidence, putting yourself out there boldly and authentically. This third one, really important for this point, mental toughness. Meaning, even when things are not working in your favor, you continue to play the game and figure out how to get things to work in your favor. Not bitch about the fact that they're not in your favor, not complain about them not being in your favor, not go to YouTube and look for someone to sympathize about things not being in your favor, but you figuring out, how do I get that favor to start working for me instead of working against me? That is mental toughness. And then personal initiative is being that go-getter who goes and makes things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. So instead of getting on YouTube like you are right now, watching a video so you can commiserate in your bitch assness about your situation, is figuring out, how can I make this work for me? That is what I call playing the game. That's what you might call hustling. You call it being a go-getter. You call it grit. You can call it mental toughness. You call it persistence. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. One thing you better not call yourself is an excuse maker, because, again, sports careers are really short. That window is really small. When your career is over, nobody wants to hear your sob story about a coach playing favorites, and that's why you didn't get on the team in high school, and that's why you never played in college, and what you could have been. Nobody heard that shit. You ever heard somebody 40 years old talking about what they could have been as an athlete? You want to hear them talk? Probably not, right? Do you want to be that person? Good. Now you know what to do. Now anyway, everybody who's watching this video, if you have not yet read this copy of my brand new book, not this copy, but this brand new book of mine called The Third Day, I will give you the book for free. All you're going to do is cover the shipping. Just go to thirddaybook.com. The link is down below in the description. Also get my book, Mirror Motivation. The link's down below for that. If you're a basketball player and want to play overseas, guess what? The link is down below for that too. And if you want to get my daily motivation text message, even if you don't get the book, even if you already got it, text me 305-384-6894 straight to your phone every single day. Work on your fucking game. Dre all day. No bitching, no complaining.